What is your name?
Johnny Kelly.
The second. What is your job?
I am a project estimator and manager.
Okay. How do you use fractions in your job every day?
As an estimator, we have to take a set of drawings that a client provides for us. With those drawings, we have to take off the units that are on those drawings. For example, we'll go and discuss about a simple project. Simple projects will start off with dirt work, where you have to move or install or subtract, take away so many cubic yards of soil. Then you have concrete you have to place, and we install concrete by cubic yards. You have a structural steel that you will need to install for your building, and then you have equipment that goes installed. The equipment normally goes in by inches. Sometimes it's based on what it is. It may vary. Duct work, things like that, normally go in by cubic feet, whereas structural steel is normally estimated as tons of steel. Tons being 2,000 pounds per ton. Each one of these units you have to break down into man hours and apply a man-hour unit rate to them in order to get your labor dollars for the project. Then you take your equipment needed for that item, as well as anything that you need to purchase as a material cost. Some clients want an all-in number. Some clients want you just to provide the labor and equipment. So the material may vary on what your client is requesting from. That's to get your overall project cost. You go through that bid phase with a client, you're awarded the project, now you have to manage the project. So in your project managing what was a simple estimate, now you have to detail down into infinity in order to get to a point where you can manage the project and be able to provide a weekly estimated outlook, forecast is what we call it, of the project cost. Am I going to make money? Am I going to lose money? That's what it all boils down to. We do that in what we call productivity. When you're looking at your man hours, you look at the productivity of a man hour. In sports, your parents always tell you to give 100%, or they'll tell you to give 110%. Well, it's a little hard for a person to give 110%. Normally you get to 100 if you're that good. But giving 100% is good. When your parents tell you to give 110%, that's very good. In our business world, we flip those two numbers. We do actual man hours divided by earned man hours. So anything over a 100, anything over a 1.0 in a sense, is actually a bad thing, because driving the cost of a project is bad. So the two numbers will correlate. If your productivity number goes over a 1, in your mind you know that is a bad thing because your cost is going over a 1. So therefore we have to estimate a job and we have to manage a job in order to actually be profitable as a company and also provide the right earned value to the owner.
So you would say, in a way, that fractions are important in your job?
Yes, ma'am. Very good.
Okay. So overall, do you feel like fractions relate to the real world in your job and in the way we are learning about them in school?
Very much so. Any part of estimating, any part of construction, whether it be from the roads or it be from building a house, building a dollhouse, anything you do from ground up involves math. It involves taking something, figuring out how long it's going to take to build it, what it's going to cost to do the job, and is there any better way to perform that task. I'm bidding against 10 to 20 different competitors every job we do. We have to figure out a better way, a faster way, a more productive way than the next person, or we do not win the job. At the same time, we have to turn around and help these clients be successful. Dealing with fractions, dealing with numbers on a daily basis is a very critical part of the job. I actually have an engineering degree which heavily relied on math in order to get me where the understanding that I have in the business that we're dealing with. And I was raised in construction, so I understand what it actually takes hands-on to do the work and the math behind that in order to make a person go from the person building something with his hands to actually planning the work from a design stage all the way through the completion. You need math in everything you do, whether it's banking and you're figuring out your bills every month, whether it's your car loan. Can you afford a car loan? Your interest on your loan. Your student loans. How many student loans can you do and still get out of school and still be able to make a living for yourself, for your family? Math is very important, and as with any math, fractions are a must.